So I don't have to beat around the bush. You guys know exactly what's going on here. You know why we're here and what we're here to talk about. And that's One Piece chapter 1007. So yes, I was the same way. I promise you, I was the exact same way. I feel the way you feel. But we got to talk about some other stuff before we get to that. The end of the chapter, which completely blew all of our minds. I'm still shook. I'm honestly still shook. But guys, before we get to that though, if you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I know sometimes people come across the channel, they watch several videos, and they don't even realize they're not subscribed. So take this opportunity, sub to the channel, and drop a like as well. So without further ado, let's talk about One Piece chapter 1007. I'm not surprised in regards to what's going on with Hyogoro and the ice demon stuff, because last chapter I told you guys, Hyogoro is not going to die. This is not Oda's way. And even though I felt like he's accomplished everything he should accomplish, he had the perfect ending, right? He protected his people. He helped Luffy. Like you said, he gained a protege. At this point, it was time to just bow out. But no, he will not die on Whopper's watch. And I'm saying Whopper because Chopper with a W. But anyway, he won't die on Chopper's watch. And therefore, he's still kicking. This chapter had a lot going on. I know people really care about the ending and everything that's going on there, but let's focus on the beginning of the chapter, right? Where we had the Queen dialogue to the pleasures, waiters, all these different people, where he's telling them the exact truth to their existence, right? Where he told them, hey, some of you guys, you had a chance. The pleasures, you had a chance to gain abilities and you did not. At this point, I'm using you the way that I think you should be used, which is a very coarse way of telling people things like this, but he's telling the truth. He also talked to the waiters, saying that you guys are waiting for abilities. There are no more smiles coming, which we know the Smile Factory is currently not operational. We saw what happened in Dressrosa and Punk Hazard. So Queen is saying, hey, this is the reality, boys, get with it. And then this reminds you of Ibisu, because these people, they're devastated, but they can't even react the way they would like to. So they're just there laughing at, their plight. It is a very sad scene, and Queen is just giving them the honest truth, saying this is why you guys are still around, to be pawns, to cause havoc and wreak havoc as the ice demons, right? So, and then he's also giving them knowledge about pirates and saying pirates are for treachery. And it's funny, right? Because in the midst of him being treacherous to them, he's saying, no, that Tanuki is not going to go and make any antidote for you guys. He could probably make something for himself, but why would he risk himself and make an antidote for you guys? Like, that makes no sense. They're pirates. Pirates are treacherous. And this is right after Queen tells them how devastating they were, the Beast Pirates. And they're just saying, you know what? I'm going to fight my way out and get off of this crew because they're terrible, right? Which in a way, it's not true at all for the Straw Hats, but it is very true for pirates in general, where I think sometimes people kind of get a misconception that pirates are like the Straw Hats, where a lot of pirates are like them, but they're more pirates like the Kid Pirates as opposed to Luffy, because if they were, then pirates wouldn't be as outlawed. They wouldn't be as frowned upon. People wouldn't hate pirates as much as they do, but when people think of pirates, they think of the absolute worst. Well, not everyone at this point, because Luffy and his crew, they've been going, throughout the Grand Line, throughout the One Piece world and doing great deeds. They're not heroes per se, but they do a lot of good things. But for the most part, pirates are bad people. Like, they take what they want. That's why the whole perception of freedom is a very, pliable topic, because if you view freedom through the lens of a pirate, it basically means to do whatever you want, right? That's what being free means. But doing whatever you want, that leads to true anarchy. There has to be some order. There has to be restrictions. Imagine if we, just humans in general, could do whatever we want, or we try to do whatever we want. Just imagine how the world would be. So in theory, freedom is a great idea. But like with Whitebeard and Oden, where Wano was technically free from the world government, they couldn't leave. And outside of Wano, you were always being chased by the Marines. So I just thought that was interesting how Oda threw all that in there. Of course, I'm pulling a lot out of it, and normally we save that for the analysis, but I really liked that moment. That was cool. I did not love the Hyogoro stuff because, it's again set up for someone that I think could have gone out in a great way, and he didn't die. It's expected, but a bit disappointing, because a lot of people, in the comment section was kind of split, with people like, nah, Brago, this time Hyogoro is definitely gonna die. I promise you, okay? He didn't die. So that is what it is. But, let's move on. We'll get deeper into it in regards to why he did and things like that on Sunday. And shout out to Chopper. Chopper did amazing here, from slapping Queen and coming up with the antidote in just that short amount of time. Shout out to you, Chopper. I'm proud of Momonosuke. Right, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna get deeper on Sunday, but I'm really proud of Momonosuke, because in the situation that he's in, he's not thinking about himself necessarily. He's not, being a womanizer and saying, yo, I'm so close to Yamato and I saw her boobs. It's all about the people, right? Which shows me that Momonosuke is gonna be a great Shogun one day. And the end of the chapter is interesting because I'm like, does he have to do that right now? Like, he could literally leave Wano if he wanted to based on who's back, but we'll get to that. CP0. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that moment felt so weird. It was almost like a scene where everyone's just sitting in silence, just waiting for their lines, right? And then he just breaks out into, you know what? Once Kaido, when he was caught by the world government, we experimented on him and used the lineage factor, and we basically cloned his devil fruit. And that's where the artificial devil fruit came from. And even someone that's part of CP0, the other guy was like, oh, how is that relevant? You know, Punk has blew up, whatever. But in my mind, when I was reading it, I'm like, bro, why does that even matter? You just said that out of nowhere. But of course, reading the story, we understand the context with Momonosuke and him and his progression. But in the moment, it feels like it's out of nowhere. And it was just hilarious to me. We had hilarious moments earlier with Chopper and that whole gag, but that was funny. I thought that was very funny. It definitely provided clarity for Momonosuke and his devil fruit. It's something we thought all along, but I like them actually clearing things up a bit. Then we get to the end of the chapter that everyone's talking about, and I'm sure you guys are just absolutely blown away. I sat in silence for a while in the live reaction, just thinking to myself that there's no way possible that this is real. I'm not experiencing this right now because Oden, the Oden that I know, died in chapter, was it 972 or whatever? He died in a chapter in the 972. He died in that chapter in which he was boiled in oil after holding up the scabbards for an hour and shot in the head. So Oden walks through the door right after, and apparently, well, I'm not saying he didn't heal the scabbards. I don't think he did that. But he just walked and said, yo, I hoped our paths would cross again, right? All of you guys have aged. My head hurts because we had so many conversations about who he could possibly be. But guys, Oden is probably back. I'm gonna say it again. Kozuki Oden is probably back. But I don't believe none of that shit. No, I don't believe that shit, Oda. You can throw that out the window. Especially going on break, Oda, you're trying to troll us. You're trying to troll me. But I won't fall for it because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you guys why it's bullshit. It doesn't make sense. Now, people are pulling up panels. Chapter 962, chapter 972, where Toki said to Oden, you're not gonna die. You know, all these different things. Go forward 20 years into the future, Oden. No, I presume what they meant is like Rayleigh and Roger, or Roger told Rayleigh he wasn't gonna die. But I think normally in One Piece, when somebody says they're not gonna die, they die. Other than the MC, of course. Ace told Luffy wasn't gonna die, he died. Roger told Rayleigh he wasn't gonna die, he died. Now Oden and Toki saying they're not gonna, he died. He's dead. Okay, he's dead. Now, who is this person here? I think what's important is not to get hung up on certain semantics to try to figure it out, because Oda is doing this on purpose. Now, people are showing different poses by different characters, specifically Katarina Devon, to say this is that person, and Blackbeard could possibly be in Wano. No, possible, but no. A Kanjuro clone, it feels too sentient to be that. The most likely scenario is that this is Onimaru, the person who transformed to Gukimaru, and there are panels going around of him and a sword, and the sword that he has looks a lot like Oden's sword that he has now. Oden's sword that he has now. But the person that healed them is definitely Hiyori. But she doesn't want to be seen because, remember, she said for the battle, etc. So after she healed them, she went away. And she should be in Ringo with Onimaru. So for me, that's where I'm leaning, right? But there is a chance that this is Oden. There's a chance. A slight chance, but there is one. We're gonna tackle that possible scenario if he actually is alive. Not right now. Initially, I'm gonna tell you guys how I feel about if he is alive. If he's alive, I don't like it. Because again, why we love Oden is how he died. The person that he is and how we regard him is because of the great things he did before he died. His dialogue to Kaido, right? The things he did, how he lived, made us praise him in death. And if you erase all of that by bringing Oden back now, that completely disregards who you've built him up to be, in my opinion, right? I understand Oda doesn't like killing characters, but the other characters that he doesn't kill, they haven't been regarded or praised the way Oden has in death. And if you bring him back and just erase all of that history, that prior knowledge, those tears that we had for that character, despicable, in my opinion, because I love Oden. So I don't think it's him. In a specific interview, I will find where Oda said this. He does not like when people bring characters back that are actually dead. Now, Oda plays with this because he doesn't actually show you characters dying, like Pound, Pell, you know, people assume Bon Clay. But for instance, reanimation stuff, that will never happen in One Piece. So people saying this could be Fukurokuju's jutsu because his name and what it means in Wano. I'm not there with it, guys. I think this is literally Onimaru trying to build morale for the Scabbards or just have a funny moment. So in chapter 1008, that's what's gonna happen in my opinion. But guys, give me your thoughts. What do you think it is? Who do you think it is? And if you think it's Oden, Let me know in the comment section if you think it's someone else. Let me know as well, but I'm just letting you guys know if it is Oden, it presents a bunch of issues, but there's a small part of me, because of how much I like the character, saying, wow, if Oden is back, that's pretty damn, but I don't want to ruin that. I think that death after that feat is just so perfect. Selfishly, I'm holding on to it, right? Selfishly. So give me your thoughts though. Make sure to like the video if you did. Again, subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. Maybe watch a few videos like I said. Now is the time, right? Like the video as well. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate all you guys so much. But guys, man, thank you so much. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.